Friday, September 7th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we round up the usual Friday update with Barnstable Recreation and woof for joy, the beaches are almost open again for dogs, and we end the show with a very special homecoming at Craigville Beach. Let's start with some news you can use. September has been declared Emergency Preparedness Month by Governor Charlie Baker, and it's that time of year where we keep an eye on the tropics. Florence may have weakened to a tropical storm over the Atlantic Ocean, but it will re-intensify early next week and poses an increasing danger to the U.S. East Coast mid to late next week. As of Friday morning, Florence was slightly less than 1,000 miles east-southeast of Bermuda, moving west. At a glance, this storm, Florence has weakened due to wind shear, but will re-intensify next week. Florence will generate swells that will begin to affect the U.S. East Coast this weekend. There is still considerable uncertainty on Florence's path next week. However, the threat of landfall or a close brush along parts of the East Coast is increasing. Interest in Bermuda and the eastern U.S. should monitor Florence's forecast. Now is a good time to check or prepare your hurricane kit and find out what to include at ready.gov. Do you have a middle school child who is not quite ready to be home alone after school? Barnstable Recreation has a great after-school program for Barnstable Intermediate students at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Homework help, a game room, and a place to hang out, special programs, and even an after-school snack. Program Coordinator George Noonan and HYCC Manager Mark Boardley fill us in on all the details. What do you do with those kids after school that are 6th, maybe 7th grade, not quite ready to stay on their own? Well, Barnstable has an after-school program. With me today, Program Coordinator George Noonan and Mark Boardley, the Youth and Community Center Manager. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back to school. It's been a long summer, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a great summer, though.
So all your programs for the summer were fantastic. We saw lots of kids and happy faces over the summer.
Yep. Summer programs wrapped up about 2 weeks ago. Registration for fall programs just started on Wednesday. There's still a lot of programs out there that are available to people if they want to sign up. They can sign up either at HYCC or through our website. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So the after-school program for BIS, this is really a unique program that just started last year. Tell us about the pilot program.
Well, this was a pet project of Mark Ells and Patty Machado. They really wanted to see something for that age group, that grade 6 and 7, as an age group that's probably too young to be really home alone, and not that they don't offer a lot, but there's just not a lot of opportunity for some kids for that age group. So they wanted to see us develop something that would be kind of in the mindset of a Boys and Girls Club, but kind of also in the mindset of a recreation program. So that's where this came from.
Okay, so after school, last year they come in, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and what happens?
We go over to school, we meet them when they get out of school, we load up a bus over at BIS, and then we get over to the rec about 3 p.m. They'll get a snack. We partner with the YMCA who delivers a snack for us, and the kids come off the bus, we take another set of attendants, they come in, get their snack. Last year we had 48 kids in our program. And this year we're looking for the same. And once they get in, we start right from there. The kids grab their snacks. Kids who sign up for homework help get their homework help. We have rec programs going on in the game room and tournaments, and we take some kids to the gym, and it's just kind of like 3 areas, sometimes 4 areas going with 10 to 12 kids in each area, and just keeping them occupied and busy.
Right. So let's talk first about the homework help. I thought that was really cool. That's the age. That 6th and 7th grade, man, it gets real. Like schoolwork gets real.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, because that age group, the 7th graders are 1 year away from getting to high school. And then, as we all know, you hit those halls at BHS, all of a sudden your homework goes from maybe like 45 minutes an hour a day to sometimes like 2 to 3 hours a day. And so, you know what? That's a tough transition. And even in 7th grade, the schools are transitioning those kids to get them ready for that too. So,
right.
So sometimes some kids will fall behind, so the idea is we need to help keep these kids going forward.
Right, so the homework help, anybody can sign up for that. And there's a program also with JFK Museum. I thought this was really interesting.
Yeah, this year we reached out and we're going to collaborate with the JFK Museum. They're going to come and teach a set of kids, or any of the kids who want to sign up for it. Every Monday they'll come and they have a curriculum. They've expanded on their curriculum that they teach over the summer through some community programs, and they're going to do that year round for us. So they'll come in every Monday and keep either the same set of kids or any of the kids who sign up for that program and do all sorts of things, from rocket building to boat modeling to science projects, all sorts of things they'll be
Right,
doing.
and I love how somebody said, well, rocket building, what's that got to do with JFK? But my gosh, to the moon, right?
Yeah, so as long as it ties back to JFK, they're going to introduce the kids to it, and it'll be a great help for us.
And we've been really lucky in this being our second year running the program with the community partnerships we've had. We had a great time. We did Family Feud against Barnstable Police with Brian Morrison and Jen Ellis and a couple of the officers, and we've had a real good time developing these programs. And it seems like the longer we run this program, more outside agencies want to get involved, because this is an age group you'd really want to reach. This, as you know, Patty runs the youth commission. She does youth summit every year, and we target this age group for a reason, because they're the ones who are definitely the most at risk, because they can transition to high school, and when they get into high school, their transition can go one way or another, and we want to keep them going one way.
Right. So we'll talk a little bit about these partnerships, because I thought that was great. The Barnstable Police does more than just the family food. Did they bring the dogs or anything?
Yeah, we had the canine come in last year. We did a drug demonstration, how he sniffs out and goes for that. I think we're going to reach out. We did some cops and skating last year.
Yep.
I think we're just going to keep reaching out to different groups. I know High Fire probably will reach out to, and we'll just kind of keep moving forward. Just keep looking for other
So if
groups
folks
to
have
come in
some
and do stuff.
ideas, you know, by all means, they can
Feel
give
free
you
to reach out to us.
reach
Yeah,
out to you.
we love the community, getting involved, helping out. It's great. The more opportunities you can present to these kids, the better. So if anyone ever had an idea for a recreation program or something like that, they should definitely contact us.
Right.
Even if it's not just for this age group, but any age group. You know, I mean, the only way recreation works is if the community's behind it. And so if the community has something they want to see done, bring it forward. We'll talk.
Talk about the game room a little bit, because I know some parents who aren't familiar with HYCC, or their kids haven't been there in a long time. The game room's a really cool place.
Yeah, we have everything. We have got ping pong tables, we've got pool tables, we've got air hockey, foosball, we've got shuffleboard, we have a basketball shooting game that we're about to assemble and put in there, and we just set up tournaments every day. The kids will come and they can either be in a pool tournament, ping pong, chess.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's got furniture. The kids can kind of lounge out at times. It's fully supervised, whether you're in that program or not.
Right.
And it's a cool little hangout for a lot of local kids or anybody who can get down there.
Right. And let's just reiterate that. It's fully supervised. These kids are not just coming into the center and being on their own.
Oh, yeah, no. Once they come in, as long as they're inside the doors of the game room, there's staff in there from the time they get out of school until 8 p.m. when we close, and then we close on 9 on Fridays and Saturdays.
Fantastic.
And you know, one of the best parts of the program we haven't even mentioned yet is the fact it's actually a free program.
It's free.
It's free.
I was just going to ask that. How'd you know, George?
Well, you know, foreshadowing. You know, we were at it.
Completely free program. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a great program. We have good junior staff that really mentor the kids and work with the kids, which is nice. Officer Morrison, Brian Morrison, who's stationed in the building, always is around, keeping an eye on us and making sure we're okay and participating in stuff he wants to participate in. And you know, I mean, can't say enough good things about it. I mean, because again, we're keeping an age group that we need to keep busy.
Right. So 6th and 7th grade, BIS students, completely free program, definitely supervised. How do you sign up the kid?
You can either do it online by setting up an account online with Barnstable Rec, or you can come in any day, Monday through Friday. I think it's 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. and sign up.
Okay. And is this rolling enrollment as well, or is it there's a date that they have to be enrolled by?
Well, the program itself starts on September 17th.
Okay.
And we'll take registrations until the program's full, and then we'll make a determination based on that if we can actually add more kids in it, because we have done that in the past.
Okay.
You know, if the demand is there, you know,
Yeah.
Our rec motto is always never say no to a child. So so we want to just try to make sure we can get as many as we can. So if the need's there, we will do everything we can to fill it.
That's fantastic. Well, guys, this is a great program. I'm really amazed that Barnstable Rec all the time has kid focused and really keep these kids off the street and give them some things that they'll want to do.
Yeah.
It's not boring.
No,
not down where we are.
no, absolutely never is.
Never boring.
Never boring. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Thanks again, Mark and George.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bark for joy, Barnstable. It's almost dog beach time. Here with us, Cindy Sherman, Animal Control Officer, with some fall tips for you and your pooch. 3 woofs. The beaches are going to be open soon. We promise, puppies. With me today, Animal Control Officer Cindy Sherman. Cindy, it was a long, hot summer for these pups.
It certainly has been. I know everyone's looking forward to September 16th. So, yep, after the 15th, starting the 16th, all dogs can be back on the beaches, but we have to make sure that they are on leash and everyone's picking up after them.
Right.
Very important.
Let's just remind people too is that it's not always, there is a leash law here
Absolutely.
in Barnstable, and there's a lot of dogs that even if your dog's friendly and the other dog's leashed.
Right. And a lot of times what happens too is if your dog is on a leash and the other dog isn't, sometimes the dog that is on leash gets very defensive when they are approached by a dog that's off leash, even if they're both very friendly. It's a tough situation.
Right. So keep your dogs leashed and please pick up after yourself. Nobody wants to see
and
that on
take
the
it
beach.
with you.
Right. Excellent. So we're talking, the long hot summer, but temperatures are starting to cool. So let's bring the dog for a ride.
Well, absolutely, you can take your dog for a ride, but please make sure that if you take your dog for a ride, you're not going to be leaving the dog alone in the car. Right. If you think you're going to be stopping somewhere that's going to take any length of time, leave the dog at home. I mean, it's great that you want to take your dog for a ride, but even at 70 degrees, the temperature can still heat up very quickly in your car. It only takes 10 minutes to heat up like almost 20 degrees.
Just 10 minutes.
Absolutely. After 20 minutes, your car is going to be over 100 degrees.
Right.
And that's just not safe for the dog, obviously.
Right. So what are some fun fall activities for you and your dog?
Well, I like to take my dog for short walks because my dog's getting much older.
Right.
So, we go out and we just kind of stroll along. She used to love to run. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she doesn't run anymore. And again, this heat, I have to be careful with her, but, so we like to visit the beach as much as the rest of you, but, just be careful,
Right.
to even watch out for, sharp objects and things like that, too. Like I said, my dog's getting much older and she's very sensitive, so,
Right.
But mostly that's about all she can handle these days.
Yeah, my dogs pick things up at the beach. I'm like, what is that? And please don't roll in it.
No, don't. Yeah. Right?
And it's also still tick season.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure you check for ticks when you get back home, especially if you're taking a walk in conservation trails or anything like that, Make sure when you get back home that you check very carefully for those ticks.
Right, and still, we've heard here in Barnstable there has been an enormous amount of West Nile virus, so mosquito larvae still out there, which is one of the prime things for heartworm prevention year-round.
Absolutely,
Here in Cape.
absolutely. Year-round, definitely. Make sure you empty any of those standing pools of water, and keep up with the heartworm prevention, definitely.
Right. It's funny, some people say, oh, we don't need it in the winter. I'm like, no, you need it year-round.
You definitely do. Yeah.
You need it. So anything else you want folks to know about fall here in Barnstable with your pets?
Well, the licensing period started July 1st. Some
Okay.
people may have forgotten. But so it's not too late, please, if you forgot to do that. July 1st, they should have been licensed. But, go down and take care of it if you haven't done so already. And, like you said, just enjoy the fall. And, again, don't leave the dogs, outside in the hot weather. Right. Make sure that, you don't leave them in the car. Make sure they have plenty of water if they're outside. You know, they love being outside, yes, but we still got to, take care and watch out for them.
Right. And going back to the licenses, the license that they have to be wearing that, correct?
They do. The license, they will, you get your tag from Town Hall with your Town of Barnstable tag number, and that should be attached to the collar. Okay. Because if your dog somehow gets loose, somebody finds the dog gets hit by a car, anything, we can look all that information up according to that tag number.
Right.
So it's very important.
Just one final thing. Today is the open house for the MSPCA.
Very exciting.
It is very exciting. But what happens when somebody does lose their pet and they're picked up by animal control?
So what happens if your dog's been picked up from animal control? The first thing we do is we scan your dog for a microchip. If the dog has a microchip, then we will get that information from the microchip company, which you have to make sure, if you have a microchip, that you register that with the microchip company. But after that, hopefully your dog's wearing his tags. We can call you right away. If by some chance your dog has lost your collar and is not microchipped, make sure you call animal control right away. Even if you're searching social media, you call the PD, you're calling wherever, make sure you call animal control, whether it's a weekend, holiday, just leave a message. We're on 7 days a week. We just don't always have someone in the office. But after 10 days, if the dog goes unclaimed, then they go to the MSPCA. But we are very diligent about finding the owner right away.
Fantastic. Let's hope nobody gets lost.
Yes.
And then the 16th, the day after the 15th, the beaches are open for puppies in Barnstable.
That's right. Enjoy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
The National Marine Life Center released 2 rehabilitated Kemp's Ridley sea turtles back to the wild on August 21st at Craigville Beach. Kemp's Ridley turtles are the smallest and most endangered of all sea turtle species. Channel 18 was there for this special event and spoke to Kathy Zagzesby, President and Executive Director, about the importance of rehabilitating these endangered turtles and public releases.
Turtles. Bruiser in front was less than about 5 pounds when he came in last November. He now weighs in at least double that. Guns on the right takes 2 people to hold right now. He initially weighed in also at about 5 pounds 3 years ago, and today he weighed in at about 25 pounds.
Hello, I'm Kathy Zagzebski. I'm the President and Executive Director of the National Marine Life Center in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. At the National Marine Life Center, we're an independent nonprofit organization. We have a 3-fold mission: marine animal rehabilitation, science, and education. And when we can, when it's safe to do so for both animals and people, we do like to make our releases public. In part, these animals are our heritage as Cape Codders. They strand here, and we want to be able to share this success story with our friends, neighbors, and visitors to our place. Sometimes we're not able to. Sometimes the animals physical condition, even if they're healed, they're very stressed out by people, so we don't want that to happen. Sometimes we physically can't even find a location that can accommodate a lot of people. We are very grateful today to the town of Barnstable, the Craigville Beach staff, and also the police department for helping us out and allowing us to use this wonderful, wonderful beach for the sea turtles. Gunst is a really cool turtle. So Gunst has actually been the turtle that's been with us the longest. He originally stranded in November of 2015, and he stranded cold stunned out in Brewster. He was rescued by Mass Audubon at Wellfleet and triaged at the New England Aquarium's Turtle Hospital up in Quincy, and then brought to us a few weeks later. And he initially, we treated him initially for the cold stun, the hypothermia condition. So we had to give him fluids, help build up his strength, give him some antibiotics, some antifungals, and address pneumonia and other types of health issues. But once he started healing from the cold stunning, then unfortunately, Gunst developed a secondary health complication that we see occasionally in the cold stun turtles, and those were a bone disease, bone lesions, or bone infection called osteolysis or osteolytic lesions. And it happens in some percent of the cold stun turtles because the cold actually cuts off the blood supply to their joints. and he had a very severe case. It was in both front flippers and multiple joints in his front flippers. So we initially tried supportive care, because sometimes it will heal on its own with adequate support. That didn't work. He continued to exhibit stiffness in his flippers. The next thing we tried, we took him up to the Tufts University Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, where they helped us out with a CT scan, and that's really helpful in basically being able to see the infection within the bone and confirm if it's still there and things like that. And it showed that he had some very serious case of the infection. Our veterinarian then collaborated with Dr. Innes, the veterinarian at the New England Aquarium, who's been successful in surgically treating some of these animals. So Dr. Williams and Dr. Innes performed surgery on Gunst, and that was successful. It removed some of the infection so that the bone could then heal. It was just a very long process after the surgery. It's been almost 1.5 years since surgery, and we had to give him physical therapy to actually physically move the flipper. Once it healed, it was still very stiff. Recently, about 2 months ago, we took him back up to Tufts for another CT scan that showed that it was healing. Some residual stiffness to his flipper we think was just because he hadn't been used to using it. So we did a resurgence of the physical therapy. At this point, he had grown and he was eating well, swimming well. And he finally, we weren't sure, but then we caught him when he thought we couldn't see him. We caught him using both front flippers. So we're excited that, and confirmed by the CT scan, that he is healed and ready to go back in the wild. I hope the public learns from a sea turtle release like this. Sea turtles are a great conservation story. These animals are all endangered. The Kemp's Ridley turtles that we saw today released are the most endangered sea turtle in the world, and the reason they're endangered is because of us. It started with numbers being dramatically impacted by certain fishing practices, trawling and the like. Then development practices, so building on beaches that turtles would otherwise nest on. Now one of the biggest dangers to turtles is plastic, and we all share responsibility for the plastic trash that we put in the ocean. In the water, a plastic bag looks a lot like a jellyfish, which is one of these turtles' favorite foods. Even smaller pieces of plastic, microplastic, is everywhere. And so we need to address that problem of plastic in order to help both animals and us. So at the National Marine Life Center, we have a small visitor center, a Marine Animal Discovery Center. We're open daily throughout the summer through Labor Day, weekends through Columbus Day, and then select days throughout the year, including February and April vacation week. Most of the time we are free for the public. We do have certain days that are special fundraising days, so at that point we charge a modest fee. We have a visitor center that includes information about marine animals, strandings, sea turtles, seals, whales, dolphins, porpoises, the kind of animals that we see here that we treat at the National Marine Life Center, or that we will treat at the National Marine Life Center one day. And we have, most fun, I think, for everybody is that we have a live camera into our hospital. So for the safety of our wildlife patients, many of whom are very critically ill, get very stressed out by people, we really limit public interaction with them. We even limit our own interaction with them to try to keep them as wild as possible. But the public can see them at our visitor center by coming and visiting us throughout the year, or throughout the summer, and other times throughout the year. We also do offer behind-the-scenes tours periodically, and those are always advertised on our website and our Facebook page. So I'd just like to remind people, helping these animals is a collaboration. We work very closely with other nonprofit organizations. In the case of turtles, the Mass Audubon at Wellfleet and the New England Aquarium, and we all have a role to play in helping keep these animals safe. The National Marine Life Center is a nonprofit organization. We can only do this work with public support, and it's all of our responsibility to take care of these wonderful animals. So you can learn more about events like our education programs or our behind-the-scenes tours on our National Marine Life Center's website at www.nmlc.org.
Millbillies, come join in the fun. The Marston's Mills 29th Annual Village Day is this Sunday. September 9th, Main Street will be closed to vehicles to allow foot traffic only from noon to 4 p.m. The theme this year is Marston's Mills supports public safety, and there will be public safety presentations all day. This is pure family fun with entertainment, music, vendor tables, food, and the famous 50-50 drawing and raffle. The festivities start at 12:15 with the raising of the American flag and national anthem, and from noon to 2, enjoy a hamburger or hot dog lunch. There will be live music all day featuring Mike Dumas and the Satellite Band, and plenty of fun for the kids with pony rides, face painting, a bounce house, and balloon art and more. Vendor tables along Main Street include MMVA, IPA, bars, Calm Water Department, soaps, E&T Farms, disc golf, jewelry glass beads, Plum Porch, LL Bean, Cape Cod Woodturners, and much, much more. The day ends with ever-popular annual chicken barbecue at 4 p.m., sponsored by the Liberty Hall Club of Marston's Mills. Get your tickets early, though, for the barbecue. This year only $12. Call Ron Beals at 508-428-8605 for tickets or the Marston's Mills Library. I'll see you in the Mills on Sunday. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Email us or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.